A proposed gag order on Trump in his federal election case is putting the judge in a tricky position. Associated Press. A proposed gag order aimed at reining in Donald Trump's incendiary rhetoric puts the judge overseeing his federal election interference case in a tricky position. She must balance the need to protect the integrity of the legal proceedings against the First Amendment and rights of a presidential candidate to defend himself in public. U.S. District Judge Tanya Chutkan will hear arguments Monday in Washington over whether Trump has gone too far with remarks such as calling prosecutors a team of thugs. Below are your comments. The problem is they are trying to take into account his candidacy at all. This is a country of laws, he broke them. The fact he is a candidate is a distant second. Anyone else would be sitting in jail in solitary confinement until all trials are over and the end terms begin, and honestly that. Trump is not campaigning to be president as much as he is campaigning to stay out of prison and ever. Yon knows this to be true. He doesn't deserve special treatment just because he was a former government temporary employee. Courts keep saying he should get no special treatment, but yet he does. He should not be mouthing off, but yet he does. So whatever form of gag the court hands down is his problem. This judge already told him that his campaigning was not going to be a factor on how she conducts the case. Will she know? This whole judicial system and some of the people who are part of it become so concerned with individual rights compared to the rights of many others collectively. Constitutional rights are not absolute. In other words, you cannot simply say anything you like, anytime you wish, particularly if anyone else publicly threatened or intimidated judges, their staff and potential jury members, we would be sitting in jail awaiting trial. It's that simple. Next news. In Alaska, a road to metals needed for clean energy could also cause harm. The New York Times. A proposed 211-mile industrial road that would cut through pristine Alaskan wilderness to reach a place and copper and zinc mine would disrupt the way of life in native Alaska communities, harm fish and caribou, and likely speed the thawing of permafrost, according to an environmental review released by the Biden administration Friday. The road, known as the Ambler Access Project, would cut through gates of the Arctic National Park and Deep Reserve, and requires a federal permit to move forward. Below are your comments. The truth and reality setting in. It would be less harmful to do oil exploration. Huge mining operations damage the landscape and environment. Time for the climate extremist to sit down and be quiet. But it is all in the name of progress, and making billions also, and of course it is about getting the air cleaner, right? What a bunch of bull. If they're so concerned about the air, then build a covered conveyor system for the 211 miles, no trucks on the road. According to global data, the U.S. is the world's fifth largest producer of copper in 2022, with output up by 2% on 2021. Over the 5 years to 2021, production from the U.S. decreased by a CAGR of 0.6% and is expected to rise by a CAGR of 4% between 2022 and 2026. June 28, 2023. What a bunch of garbage. The whole top half of the Alaskan highway is built on permafrost. It's been like that for 80 years, and cut through serious migration routes of caribou and over salmon streams. If it is so bad to have a road, why hasn't the Alaskan highway been shut down? Thousands of vehicle. Next news. Booze, beads and art among unclaimed gifts lavished upon billionaire Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker. As Associated Press. Illinois Gov. J.B. Pritzker has so many fans and friends that he receives a $30 gift at the rate of one every 3 days. But because of his job he accepts none of them, and rarely even sees them. The second-term Democratic governor and multi-billionaire has been lavished with hundreds of gifts from around the world, ranging from a $950 bottle of Japanese whiskey to 35 cents. A quarter and dime, to be exact. The state's 25-year-old Gift Ban Act prohibits public employees such as Pritzker from. Below are your comments. Every billionaire represents a policy failure. No one obtains that amount of wealth equitably. Until Americans can fully understand that the very title billionaire should not exist, their government will continue to be controlled by them. Since 1980, over $80 trillion made in America. The Cook County Ethics Board said that I could not donate drinking water to the Cook County for St. Preserve employees during the summer months. The water totaled approximately $11 in value for about 15 employees, about 75 cents per employee. The county spent more money than that to tell me I circa. So he's a billionaire, heir to a company, and went into politics. No wonder he seems to dictate by fiat. Wonder if he's ever had a real job and can relate even one iota to the working people he represents. Guess that doesn't matter though, he keeps getting elected. Why do we elect billionaires to government? Oh right, he just cut out the middleman. Next news. The war between Israel and Hamas is testing the Republican Party's isolationist shift. Associated Press. Nikki Haley vowed to stand with Israel, every step of the way. It's a dangerous world right now. Haley told Republican primary voters gathered inside New Hampshire's American Legion Post No. 7 as a new war raged in the Middle East. Less than 24 hours later, Florida Gov. Ron DeSantis told New Hampshire business leaders that the United States should stop funding Ukraine until there is a clear strategy. Below are your comments. If you think the Republicans' party messages are conflicting now, just give the international conflict CTS another week and watch the GOP sink their boots even deeper into the abyss they keep spinning themselves into. Because most running for positions next year don't have a clue to. Maybe the GOP should figure out how to govern before they wade into grown-up politics. In other words, the Republicans have no plan that differs from how Biden has responded to the war. President Donald Trump announced that he was reversing 7 decades of U.S. foreign policy and would recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. A move that prompted concerns it may unsettle the Middle East and derail efforts to resolve the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. In reality, Trump is the one who's directly responsible for the present conflict. Our allies' adversaries were emboldened when they saw Trump start an insurrection in Jan. 2021 and members of his political party hold up dozens of key military and diplomatic appointments. Next news. Biden to push Israel, Ukraine aid package over $2 billion this week. Reuters. White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said on Sunday that a new weapons package for Israel and Ukraine will be significantly higher than $2 billion. Sullivan, in an interview on CBS's Face the Nation, said U.S. President Joe Biden will have intensive talks with the U.S. Congress this week on the need for the package to be approved. Republicans struggles to pick a speaker for the House of Representatives after party hardliners ooze. Ted Kevin McCarthy nearly 2 weeks ago has Della. Below are your comments. Congress should consider each aid request separately. Biden does not write bills in Congress. Yosh wants trillions for wars, while struggling Americans pay tax and higher prices. What a joke Joe is. Okay, this is getting out of hand. Why are we the only ones sending our money to fight other people's wars? There's no speaker in Congress, another shutdown is coming in a month, and he wants to send more $2 billion overseas? Enough is enough. Let the other countries in NATO do something. Didn't Hawley say all money for Ukraine must go to our border? And provide Israel all it wants and more. Israel itself did not like that, saying, "We support democracies worldwide, including Ukraine." Most people don't want any more taxpayers' money to be wasted on the futile war in Ukraine. Zelensky does not even have any more soldiers. He is recruiting women and 60-year-old men. Biden approved only a single payment of $700 per family in Hawaii. What a shame. Next news. Schumer leads bipartisan group of senators to Israel while Gaza invasion looms. NBC News. Majority Leader Chuck Schumer has landed in Tel Aviv to lead a congressional delegation to Israel amid the war following Hamas terrorist attack. Below are your comments. They have to run over there to discuss this stuff. What is wrong with using the internet? How much is this little jaunt costing us taxpayers? Should be in DC working for us. We need a budget. Maybe these guys could put some pressure on the House to get their act together and get a speaker so. Why are these people wasting US dollars to fly to Israel and repeat what the Secretary of State has already said? Last week a delegation, this week another delegation. It was the same thing with Ukraine. I don't think the people being impacted by this are likely at home watching TV. I believe nothing but a photo op. He is another one that needs to be replaced by a younger, more in-touch person than Schumer. What does he think he will accomplish? Nothing. It's time for Netanyahu to go. The right wing in Israel made threats for years and kept filling up the West Bank and East Jerusalem with settlers, but in the end couldn't protect ordinary Israelis. America's support for Israel is bipartisan. Majority of Americans support our military. Senator Tuberville continues to obstruct military promotions. Senator Cruz continues to obstruct confirmation of America's ambassador to Israel. Very important to call their offices this week. This N. Next news. Putin says suggestions of U.S. war against Russia and China are nonsense. Reuters. Moscow. Reuters. President Vladimir Putin said on Sunday that suggestions the United States should prepare for a war against Russia and China were nonsense, and warned the West that any war against Russia would be on a whole different level to the conflict in Ukraine. A bipartisan panel appointed by the U.S. Congress said on Thursday that Washington must prepare for possible simultaneous wars with Moscow and Beijing by expanding its conventional forces, strengthening alliances and enhancing it. Below are your comments. We already are fighting against China and Russia through proxies. We feed the Ukraine with weapons to fight Russia. Russia pulls the puppet strings in Syria and directly or indirectly had something to do with the Hamas attack on Israel. China in the meantime tries to extend its borders in the So. No worries, Putin is bogged down in Ukraine and China does not want to disrupt trade. Still, we need to upgrade our military to meet any potential challenge. Defense spending should be no less than 10% of GDP. I will never trust Russia under Putin or China under Xi. Most countries will try to be far away from these countries if they have a choice. It's not about the number of nuclear weapons. It's about half a dozen good strikes breaching air defenses and what side can keep the home together in an unprecedented chaos. On both counts, Russia should be more worried. Next news. AP election brief. What to expect in Louisiana's statewide primaries. Associated Press. The race to replace term-limited Democratic Gov. John Bel Edwards tops the list of contests Louisiana voters will decide this Saturday in one of only 3 gubernatorial elections scheduled for this year. 14 candidates are competing to succeed Edwards under a unique primary system in which all candidates appear together on the same ballot regardless of party affiliation. Republican hopefuls include State Sen. Sharon Hewitt, State Attorney General Jeff Landry, State Treasurer John Schroed. Below are your comments. Look who's spending all our money in Washington. Our country is in worse state than ever before. So don't tell me about representative running everyone into debt. Remember this: the last time Louisiana had a Republican as governor, he left us with a $4 billion AR deficit. We get a Democrat, now have a $2.5 billion surplus. Republicans can't run a snowball stand. Newsweek: Trump judge deals blow to Republicans' election plans. Story by Catherine Fung, 15H. A Trump-appointed judge dealt a blow to Texas Republicans after he ruled that Galveston County violated the Federal Voting Rights Act by splitting up Black and Latino communities so that white voters w. Next news. Amid international crises, U.S. Congress handcuffed by Republican feud. Reuters. As the flames of war burn in the Middle East and Ukraine, the U.S. Congress is immobilized by a brawl among Republicans, a dysfunction that even some in Donald Trump's party worry is giving comfort to the nation's adversaries. The House of Representatives has drifted leaderless for 12 days since 8 of its 221 Republicans ousted Speaker Kevin McCarthy. Below are your comments. A house divided cannot stand. It is time to let Pelosi back in control. With her having a minority caucus, she will have to actually lead with bipartisanship. Or the Republicans could do the same thing and reach across the aisle and try to get a few moderates to back a reasonable speaker. Both paw. No leaders in the Republican Party. Everybody is just following the crowd without thinking, especially those who are supporting Trump. Scott Perry should be removed from Congress for dereliction of duty and betraying his oaths to this nation. The House Freedom Caucus, this cancer, this cadre of bomb throwers, needs to be carved out of the HAL-LS of Congress. They are actively aiding hostile powers by paralyzing our government. Next news. I felt backstabbed. Biden's U.S.-Mexico border wall plans elicit condemnation. The Guardian. Area residents thought their land was safe after Trump's wall plans were foiled, only to discover Biden's plans to build more. Below are your comments. Believing Biden was her first mistake. The second will be when she votes for him again. She can always sell and move to Mexico. First look at the name. And then tell me they are going to deny access to others from her country of origin. Second, if they were truly American, they would want the border secured for several reasons which AFE cortisol. She and her family are a good case for eminent domain seizure. Something has to be done to help secure the country. If it takes a wall, so be it. The lady does not have to deal with all the immigrants living in her yard or on her property and her supplying them with food and medical help, nor having to school the non-English speaking children. Biden should close. I am an immigrant, but no system in the world can accommodate multitude of people coming in as they have been since COVID. Caravans of people were created when Trump was president, and that is one thing we cannot blame Trump or Biden. Next news. Biden 2024 campaign. Allies raise $71 million in latest quarterly haul. Reuters. President Joe Biden's 2024 re-election team and his party said on Sunday that they raised $71 million during the latest quarter, as the Democrats' age and low approval ratings remained a concern for any donors. The money raised is similar to the $72 million Biden and the Democratic Party raised in the prior coup. Though the April to June period was shorter by 25 days because Biden launched his campaign in late April. The summertime July to September period more than 1 year before the LA. Below are your comments. Hopefully we'll have 4 more years of competent leadership after the 4 years of Republican incompetence. Not sure why he's running. He has a hard time with stairs. 89% are Palestinians support terrorist attacks on Israel. Now Democrats want to bring 1 million into the U.S. This is my prediction. All that money will go to the Biden family. The next POTUS will be Gavin Newsom. I don't believe anyone in the know serious believes Joe Biden is really going to run for POTUS in 2024. Next news. Landry wins Louisiana governor's race, flipping state red. Politico. The Republican state attorney general won a majority of the vote Saturday, averting an expected runoff election next month. Below are your comments. Nationally speaking, Louisiana is always a deep red state. Local politics may sometimes result in the state voters choosing a Democratic governor. But that does not change the fact that the state is essentially a Republican state. Some urban areas may be blue, but Louisiana is about as red as a state can get. Trump's Jeff Landry gave an incoherent acceptance speech as governor-elect of Louisiana. Landry refused to participate in state debates and supports all MAGA mandates. His first act will be to cut off Medicaid to the many poor citizens of the state. His election will undoubtedly cause the contin. Landry's first executive order will be to shut down the Louisiana school system. The second order will be to drop the minimum wage to $3, because kids will think that's a lot of money. Louisiana has always been a red state in my opinion. Next news. Jeff Landry wins Louisiana governorship, flipping the state for Republicans. NBC News. Democrats' two-term hold on the governorship of Louisiana is over, after Republican State Attorney General Jeff Landry won the seat Saturday. Below are your comments. Louisiana flipped? Hardly. In the state Senate, Louisiana has 27 Republicans and 12 Democrats. In the State House, there are 71 Republicans and 33 Democrats. So, if this is an attempt to make this look like a big deal, it's not. John Bel Edwards was a Democrat, in name only, which is why he won the. I wouldn't exactly call that a flip. Click the Biden's buddy link. What? This guy won an election on gas stoves and cars. It's got to be the dumbest ad I ever saw. Good luck, Louisiana. You deserve what you get. One of the worst states in the country, dead last in everything because of Republicans. Enjoy the next 4 years. Ha ha ha. What a shame. Louisiana lost because the black Democrat didn't stand a chance against the rural, racist, fake Fox News-watching Cajun voters. More misery for Louisiana. Next news. Biden raises $71 million in third quarter, far outpacing Trump and the Republican field. USA Today. President Joe Biden's $71 million third quarter fundraising gives him $91 million on hand to spend. While Donald Trump has $37.5 million on hand. Below are your comments. Because this is really what politics is all about, money. This is also why we have such poor choices in candidates. Money only goes to those chosen ones that either party wants to see get into office. The entire system is broken and corrupt. This is a slam dunk because of women and gay voters being demonized by Republicans in Congress. The anti-abortion laws will be the end of majority Republican Party in Wash. Just like the last time they pulled this poop. Republicans will lose the House and Senate. Yo, Trumpos and Trumpets, this is the poll that really matters. Dark Brandon on the move. Most people in the United States don't have that kind of money, so why are they governed by people at do? Next news. Mounting debt threatens Mike Pence's campaign. NBC News. Former Vice President Mike Pence's 2024 campaign faces a potentially existential cash squeeze, with debt already piling up. Below are your comments. I am not a Pence fan by any means, but this simply illustrates the unfortunate reality that elections in this country are bought. It's not about who is best qualified. It's about who has the largest war chest, contributed by special interest groups, PACs the like. At the end of the day, Pence did nothing but praise the orange stain during his time in the White House. The only thing Pence ever did right was confirm that President Biden was the true winner of the 2020 election. The fact that his campaign is in debt is a sure sign that nobody wants him as president. The only T. Why not? Trump taught him the basics of filing bankruptcy. What campaign? Nobody is voting for this guy. Exactly, who cares? Next news. Biden speaks with Netanyahu, a boss. Politico. In both calls, Biden emphasized the need to prevent the conflict from expanding, reflecting widespread concern that other parties might jump into the war. Below are your comments. I respect Biden for trying to keep the calm and asking countries not to escalate this war. Imagine what we would be having if Trump was pres. We are so lucky about that. Biden says, we don't negotiate with terrorists, we finance them. Just ask Obama. While most world leaders are playing chess, Biden is playing checkers. No retraction until Hamas is 100% destroyed. My mother is 76 years old. And she does not remember what she had for breakfast. Did you real? Why believe Biden was doing something or he remembers something? At 80 I just want to sit in my porch feeding my chickens and listen to the radio. Shame on high. S Family 4. Next news. Glenn Youngkin thinks he has a Republican response to Democrats' abortion attacks. Politico. If it works, it could become a blueprint for the GOP and further elevate Youngkin's profile. Below are your comments. Most politicians are not doctors. Women have the right to make their own medical decisions after consulting with the doctor of their choice. Don't look at what Republicans say about abortion. Look at the laws being passed in red states which are contrary to Youngkin's statements regarding a measured approach to abortion politics. Once they get in there, they will do whatever they want. Look what the 3 Supreme Court justices said during their confirmation hearings. Roe is settled law. Then once confirmed, they voted to overturn it. Besides, religious conservatives aren't going to be satisfied with a 15-week ban. Next news. Haley closes in on DeSantis as biggest challenger to Trump. The Hill. Nikki Haley is increasingly being viewed as the most viable alternative to former President Trump, a.s. Florida Gov. Ron DeSantis, R., continues to struggle to gain traction in the primary. The former United Nations ambassador received widespread praise for her performances in the GOP primary debates, has bumped up in primary polling and become an. Below are your comments. The law is Donald's biggest challenger. Everyone can smell the fear and loss coming from the DeSantis campaign. Let's see, 60% Trump, 10% Haley, that's really closing in alright. Maybe she's close in the polls but not in philosophy. Still not presidential. I don't think Nikki would make a good president. Next news. 5 key takeaways from the Doug Burgum Town Hall in NH. Here's what he would focus on as president. USA Today. The North Dakota governor was the final candidate to qualify for the last Republican debate, but he's surging forward with his campaign. Below are your comments. I left the Republican Party the day that Trump was nominated. That said, I like the North Dakota governor. Unfortunately, he has not captured the attention of the press. Without that, there can be no path forward for him. If he is patient, then his poll numbers will rise. His message is good. I like him. Skipping past the usual stepping stones. My first triathlon was an IM, Cape Cod 1988. My first road race was Boston Marathon 1989. Please subscribe to my channel. And if you like it, please thumbs up.